2022 point charts came out. And I know that there was some questions in the group. This is year number 2 of the formal reallocation we saw from 2021. And really what it comes down to is, if you really looked at most of the charts, they're heavily shifting what used to be a high point numbers in the summer, which was like from basically like the second week of June all the way through the end of August when kids went back to school. Those tended to be pretty high point seasons, if not the highest. And they're starting to shift those away and push them to the fall because DVC patterns have drastically changed over the years. Right now, October is the single busiest month for DVC out of any month of the year. So they had to start making some moves. The reason they're doing this over 2 years, for those of you that don't know the ins and outs of how the reallocation process works, DVC cannot move a point chart more than 20% within a single year without putting it to member approval. So to avoid that problem, they just spread it out over a couple years, 2, 3. They did the same thing back in 2010, I think it was, when we saw a point shift from weekdays to weekends. Up till 2010, it was the same every night of the week, so they shifted things towards the weekend, and now they're doing this kind of the same thing, reallocating towards October, early November, those types of months where things are a lot busier than they once were. Is by far the cheapest. If you can travel in the heat, early September is next to nothing when it comes to points. I think I saw Value Studios, maybe a 7-pointer. I didn't have a chance to really look it over, but I know last year there was an 8.9 in there. So that's really, really cheap. So keep that in mind.
Let's make sure that everybody understands these are not new points. If a resort has 10 million points, they cannot have 10 million in one. It will be 10 million until that contract expires. They are just reallocating them and moving them around. So where they're increasing over here, they're decreasing over here.
Yep.
So
I always like to put it in
points.
Look at it from a bucket perspective. You have 10 million points in total in your buckets. You have all these various different little buckets made up of different rooms and times of the year, and all they've got to do is move those around to keep a nice balance, as long as they don't take any marbles out or add any marbles to the buckets as a whole. And so it's important to understand that. And I know a lot of people get confused, especially when they do their DVC tours and they're like, oh, my points can never change over time. That's not entirely true. The resort as a whole cannot change. Everything within inside that resort can, from days of the week and month to specific room categories, and it always fluctuates. And so, and the other thing I like to tell people too, it's not always a direct one-to-one move. If we see, I like to use the example a couple years ago when they moved things around at Animal Kingdom, we saw club level go up in points, right?
Right.
Value went down. Well, everybody's like, well, the value didn't go down as much as club went up. Well, I said, well, the part of the problem there is there's only 5 lock-offs, 2 bedrooms in club level. Whereas there's 18 total lock-offs in value. So when club level went up 3 points, the corresponding decrease in value was only 1. So keep that in mind. It's all about a scale. It's all about keeping it equal. But yeah, we'll continue to see this. I think I noticed a little bit heavier lean towards the Epcot area resorts in terms of October, November, and we know that's because of run events and food and wine and all those types of things. Boardwalk, Beach Club, now Riviera, those are all high target places in the fall. And so we're going to see those kind of, I think, take on precedent in the fall as far as how many points they take. But the nice part is, for those of you that travel in the summer with typical school vacations over the summer, points are getting cheaper, which is a nice thing. You don't have to worry about burning through a ton of points in the heat of the summer. If you guys have questions, I'll always ask, please. I will definitely answer them.
If you found this video helpful, please click the like button and subscribe to the DVC Shop YouTube channel. We have some great educational videos coming out soon, so be sure to turn on notifications to be the first one to know when they're released. Additionally, feel free to join our email newsletter by going to dvcshop.com/signup or clicking the link in the description. You'll get exclusive discounts, and you'll be the first to know when we release new and price-reduced DVC resales and rentals. Thank you for watching, and happy traveling!